Today we shall study about immunity. Immunity means resistance to infection. The major targets of defense system in our body. The defense system in our body targets various pathogenic microorganisms enters into the body. The major pathogenic microorganisms and other antigenic substances include bacteria, fungi, virus, protozoans, helminths, worn-out RBC, tissue debris, cancer cells, mutant cells and graft cells. And in our body, layered defense mechanism exists to protect from pathogenic attack. The first layer defense mechanism is carried out by skin. The second layered defense mechanism is performed by innate immunity. The third layered defense mechanism is carried out by adaptive immunity. And the fourth layered defense mechanism is performed by means of immunological memory. And there are two types of immunity in our body. They are innate immunity and adaptive immunity. Innate immunity is defense resistance by birth, and adaptive immunity is resistance developed during the lifetime of an organism. Then for innate immunity, there are several factors are involved. Example, physical and mechanical barriers, biochemical factors, cellular factors and genetic factors are used to carry out innate immunity. First, physical and mechanical barrier. Skin is a physical barrier. The horny outer layer of the skin known as stratum corneum, it acts as a mechanical barrier. If any burns on the stratum corneum, the pathogen enters through the skin. Then the second substance is mucous membrane. It acts as a protective barrier. The mucous membrane is present inside the nasal passage of the body. The mucus is sticky. So the sticky mucus traps the microbes, enters the body. Then cilia. Cilia is present in the respiratory passage. Inside the respiratory passage, the epithelial cells have cilia. The cilia traps the microorganisms, enters inside the body through respiratory passage. Then coughing and sneezing. It helps to drive out the foreign particles, enters the digestive system and respiratory tracts. Then peristaltic movement. If the microbes escape by various barriers like skin, mucous membrane, cilia and sneezing activity, they are pushed away by peristaltic movement of the intestine. Then saliva, tears and urine. Saliva secreted by salivary gland of mouth digest pathogens. Tears secreted by lacrimal gland of eye flush away the foreign particles. Then washing action of urine eliminates microbes from urethra. Then next factor, biochemical factors. The biochemical factors include secretions of skin, secretions of digestive tract, human milk, lysozyme, interferons, complement, properdin, secretions of bacterial flora, Zaman and acute phase proteins. Secretions of skin, the high concentration of salt in sweat kill the microbes. The pH of the sweat is 5.5. This high pH kill the microbes. Then secretions of sebaceous and sweat glands act as antiseptics. Then some areas of body, the soles of the foot has less sebaceous gland and these areas are more attacked by fungus and so that these areas are called alkaline gats. Then secretions of digestive tract, the hydrochloric acid of the gastric juice secreted by the oxyntic cells of the stomach has high acidity, that is 2, and it kills microbes. Then human milk has lactoferrin and neuramic acid. They fight against the Escherichia coli and Staphylococci bacteria. The nasal secretions and saliva contain mucopolysaccharides. It inactivates some viruses. Then lysozyme, the tears, nasal secretions, saliva, polymorphonuclear leukocytes, human milk and most tissue fluids except cerebrospinal fluid, sweat and urine contain mucolytic enzyme called N-acetyl muramidase. These enzymes are known as lysozyme It lyses gram-positive bacteria. Then interferons, they are group of soluble non-toxic glycoproteins produced by all cells of the body. They are antiviral agent. It inhibits the viral replication in viral infected cells. Then complement is a complex system of enzymatic proteins found in serum. It is activated by antigen-antibody complex. Then activation of complement increase phagocytosis and destroy microbes. The complements do opsonization of microbes by means of membrane attacking component, and they promote lysis of pathogens. Then properdin, they are group of proteins present in normal serum. Along with complement and magnesium ions, the properdin causes lysine of gram-negative bacteria and virus. Then secretions of bacterial flora. The bacterial flora of skin produce antimicrobial bacteriocins and acids. Gut bacterial flora secrete colicins and acids. They prevent microbial entry in the body. Then lactobacilli of vagina secrete antibacterial acid, and this acid protects the vagina. Then semen contains spermine and zinc as antibactericidal components. Then acute phase proteins, they are group of plasma proteins. They increase during any infection. Example, C-reactive proteins. So these are the biochemical factors which are involved in innate immunity. Then cellular factors. The first cellular factor is phagocytotic process. Phagocytosis is process of cell eating. The process was first discovered by Meshnikov in 1838. There are two types of phagocytic cells. They are microphages and macrophages. The microphages are polymorphonuclear leukocytes, and the macrophages are mononuclear phagocytes, which are derived from promonocytes in the bone marrow. Then process of phagocytosis, the antigen, when an antigen enters inside the cell, the antigen is attracted by means of chemotactic process. So by this process, the phagocytes are moved toward the site of infection, and the phagocytes attach with the foreign particles. Once the foreign particles are attached with the phagocytes ingest the foreign particles by producing pseudopodia around the foreign particle. After engulfing the foreign substances inside the phagocyte, it is killed. The natural killer cells are large granular lymphocytes. They are non-phagocytic lymphocytes. It kills tumor cells and viruses. The non-phagocytic lymphocytes are responsible for apoptosis of virally infected cells, and they are also responsible for lysis of tumor cells. The natural killer cells secrete perforins and lysins to kill the virus. Then genetic factors. There are three different types of genetic factors. They are species immunity, racial immunity, and individual immunity. Species immunity is resistance to pathogens exhibited by all members of a species. Specific microbes attack specific species. Examples, measles attack only humans. And racial immunity. Within a species, different races show differences in susceptibility of a disease. Example, Negroes are more susceptible to tuberculosis than white people. And individual immunity, differences in innate immunity shown by different individuals. For example, common cold, some people are most prone to suffer by means of common cold and others are not. Then body temperature. It determines innate immunity. Example, tubercle bacilli affect only warm-blooded animals but not cold-blooded animals. And inflammation. That is injury of tissues. When any injury in the tissue, it leads to cellular and vascular changes which are known as inflammation. Inflammation prevents the entry of microbes. Then fever. When any microorganism, especially virus, infects our body, the pyrogens are secreted by the immune system. The pyrogens elevate the body temperature. When the body temperature increases, the virus inside the cell is killed. Thank you.